The Trojan Women is a very intense film. This was released originally in 1971. It's directed by Michael Cacoyannis with a screenplay by Edith Hamilton and Michael Cacoyannis, of course, based on the play by Euripides. And I've never read the original play or any translations of it to the best of my memory. But according to Wikipedia, at least, it is very, very close to the original. But if anybody has any thoughts on that, please feel free to share. And the only reason I wanted to watch this, or the reason this came to my attention, is because of Katharine Hepburn. I'm watching all of Hepburn's films, not too many left now. And this one I wasn't sure about because it's not exactly my area of expertise. This is about the challenges after the Trojan Wars from the perspective of various women, various female characters, and the destruction of the city and what it's like afterwards and in the aftermath. And I don't know that much about this time period. I have a very basic knowledge, but I was worried I wouldn't really follow the film. And on the one hand, yeah, there were definitely things where I feel like I wasn't 100% sure of what was going on or the significance of this or that character. But in general, I was still able to follow the narrative and the characters. And I think the reason for that is because the performances were so wonderful, so powerful, that it was so easy to feel the emotions of those characters and follow their journey and get behind them. And for that reason, I really thoroughly enjoyed it. It's not a film I could watch again and again. Maybe if I increased my general knowledge of the Trojan Wars and the after effects, I think it would be a very different experience. And I'd love to know what you think, particularly if you're coming at this as somebody with a lot of knowledge about this time period. I imagine it would be a very different experience. But for me, with my basic knowledge of the events in history, I can say it's a good film. If you're very knowledgeable about the Trojan Wars, you might think differently, and I think that that's perfectly understandable. But the performances, the narrative was interesting enough, but the performances were just absolutely incredible. Hepburn plays Hecuba, who is Queen of the Trojans, and her performance was just exquisite. While it's not one of my favourite Hepburn characters, I have to say it's got to be one of my favourite performances. Vanessa Redgrave's performance was amazing. All of the performances were really strong. And the location, I'm not 100% sure where this was filmed. According to IMDb, it was filmed, some of the exteriors were filmed in Spain, but I don't know to what extent, if it was all filmed in Spain or not. But either way, it is atmospheric. It feels like a realistic environment. The characters responding to each other, I just thought it was so powerful and so incredible. The narrative I liked, but I think I would have got more out of the narrative if I had more background information. That's kind of what you always get with a historical film or a film based on a historical time period. You're going to get something different out of it depending on where you're coming from. But for me, it definitely provided me a good foundation if I were to then go and read more about the characters in this film. I have a deeper understanding of what they went through and what things were like at the time. So for me, pretty educational, but I could definitely learn a lot more. From an entertainment perspective, I think I enjoyed watching just how colossal this film is. The performances are triumphant and intense and loud and in your face, and the characters really stand up and say what needs to be said, and I found that to be really moving and very well done. And the biggest surprise is that it's not a tremendous award winner. From what I can see, Hepburn won Best Actress for the Kansas City Film Critics Circle Award, and Irene Papas, who played Helen of Troy, won the National Board of Review of Motion Pictures Best Actress Award. I'm surprised that's it, because it's a colossal film, and it's very impressive. But maybe other people's opinions are coming from a lot of knowledge about the time. Maybe it's not a good representation. I don't know. But from my perspective, The Trojan Women is very impressive. It's not a film, it's not an easy watch, put it that way. I couldn't watch it again and again, but I was very impressed. From my perspective, it worked really well. And if I ever decide to do a deeper dive into the Trojan Wars or any of the characters, I would definitely come back to watch this film again.